Thank you for the chance to present intelliHR today. If you could just go through a couple of slides here. So for those who don't know intelliHR, we are the intelligent people platform that empowers HR and business leaders to make more intelligent people decisions. Move forward one. What we help businesses do is to bring people into the business, keep them in an area of profitable performance as an employee, help you identify if there are moments where that employee needs to be re-engaged and can be turned around and returned to a more peak performance within the business, or help you offboard people from your business if they're becoming unprofitable in the way that they're contributing to the business. If you can go forward one. So intelliHR is a next generation HRIS or HCM. You'll hear both of those terms in the market that puts people and culture at the core of a business. I think we've all seen through COVID the return of the importance of having people right at the heart of your business strategy. And what we do is we come into a business and we can sit and pull the data from your productivity tools, your payroll system, your hiring and recruitment system, your learning and development tools, and create for you a single source of data truth on every employee in the business. The pillars of the product, it's built around intelligent, human, empowering, and secure. We're a business that was born of HR. We were born in Brisbane in Queensland. We now have people in a number of cities, Melbourne, Auckland, London, Manchester, Toronto, and Sydney, where I am. But it's a business that's built on analytics and visualization of data. It does the core HR functions of engagement and performance to allow you to connect to people, onboard your people, help managers manage people across this new hybrid working world that we're in. And a key of our product is it's very flexible and configurable. So a lot of the products out there require a business to work the way that they've decided is the way to work and that their system enforces as a process. With intelliHR, we can actually help you configure the product to the way that you want to work. A number of our customers have distinct cultures that they want to support through the way that they manage and engage and understand the performance of their people. And so our product is incredibly configurable, allowing them to work the way they want to. It's built to be a global platform. We have a number of customers in over 20 countries, and we have a number of languages on the platform, and that keeps growing as we get customer need and demand. If you could go to the next slide, please. So while us and most of the competitors in this sector are well off their 52-week highs, the underlying drivers that have been powering this growth in HR tech continue. Key among those, obviously, is digital transformation. HR is one of the last groups to really come to the digital transformation time. I spent 8 years at Microsoft in Redmond headquarters before coming back to Australia, and I was responsible for the Office 365 business. And what we saw is that digital transformation started first in finance and sales and marketing and all of these other frontline groups, but HR was left a little bit behind. But that's really hitting the HR market right now. Certainly hybrid working is the new normal. We've come out of, we're in a post-COVID era. A lot of businesses are trying to work out what to do. Do they maintain these large real estate leases? Do they embrace people working from home? What's right for their business? And businesses are coming up with their own combination that makes best sense for them. And we can help empower any of those businesses because our product allows you to stay connected and understanding both the productivity and the well-being of every employee in the business. We've also seen the rise of the CPO, and it's something I saw in technology back in the 90s with Y2K, where we went from an IT leader to the creation of the CIO role. We've seen the same with COVID and the creation of the Chief People Officer, now responsible for people and culture in the business. This is Kathleen Hogan, who I worked with at Microsoft, and it's certainly a role that is starting to, and will spend the next 10 years, carving out what its areas of responsibility and functional responsibility and accountability for businesses will be. And I think we'll see some evolution there. And that's great for our business because we've built a platform that can continue to innovate and keep pace with those leading HR people and what they need out of a platform like ours. And certainly we're also seeing businesses try and work out how to build a performance culture when they can't have all their employees in one building, when they can't see them regularly. They're managing them across remote and hybrid styles. And so there's a new algorithm of the workplace, and it's built around being employee-centric, having a clear understanding of aligned goals between the business and the individuals of the business, having agility and being able to move and change with the market, with their own business conditions. Engagement is primary, and giving managers who've learned how to manage people in a room the tools and the skill sets to be able to manage people who they may only see once a month is very different today. Well-being and performance being the ultimate outcome for the business. Next slide, please. So last year was a good year for our business. We had a 97% growth in our ARR, a number of fantastic brands and businesses that have chosen intelliHR. In our last quarterly report, we noted that we're at 8.37 million ARR at this point. Our key focus for this fiscal year is both getting to 10 million and beyond 10 million ARR, and to start to reach an operating cash flow break-even state. We have more than 330 customers in 20 countries, more than 78,000 headcount on the platform now, and a large percentage of that is offshore. We do have a number of customers in North America and the UK, and continue to grow both of those businesses as well as here in the home market. And you can see from these brands with Mitre 10, with SwiftX, who in the cryptocurrency, largest cryptocurrency exchange in Australia, Baby Bunting, an amazing law firm, Lander and Rogers, OSL, a huge retail services business, 8,000 headcount over in North America. Scope, of course, here in Australia, Discovery Parks. Showcase is interesting because when we win things overseas, local investors don't always know how to understand those. Showcase is twice the size of Hoyts, so it's a big cinema chain group. Obviously Dake in the industrial area, and the fastest growing healthcare brand in Australia, MyHealth. So you can see we're across a number of categories now, so it's been great to pressure test and innovate the platform together with HR leaders across a whole range of different business conditions. Next slide, please. It's also been pleasing to receive some global customer and thought leader recognition recently. Jason Aberbrook on the left there is one of the two leading HR tech thought leaders in the space, Josh Burson being the other one. And Jason, we've taken through the product at depth, and certainly he really appreciates the core intelligence piece to our product of the analytic capabilities, great visualization of data, and being able now, through work we've been doing in the UK with a partner, a payroll partner there called Sintra, we can now actually sit in front of payroll and we can push data to payroll and be the first point of contact and the onboarding mechanism for both payroll and HR, which is pretty unique. And then G2, which is a very large independent review site in the US, about 5 million B2B shoppers a month come to their site and leave reviews. And so our customers have been leaving reviews, our competitors' customers have been leaving reviews, and we're really pleased to see the hard work we've done to please our customers, to be recognised as a global momentum leader for the first time, which is really big for us. And you can see a number of other great awards there. I think our analytics was the global easiest to use from an analytics perspective, and a number of Asia Pacific, Australia recognitions as well. Next slide, please. How we're positioned, the way that people think about us is represented here from very basic capability systems to more enterprise capability, and from quite expensive to more affordable. When customers see us, they see something that they can achieve enterprise capability, but at a mid-market price. And certainly from a capability perspective, we're incredibly customizable. We integrate with all number of systems to make it really simple when you bring us into your business. It doesn't mean ripping out a lot of other tech that you're wedded to. We have very advanced analytics up against a number of the global leaders, and certainly speed to value. We can get a customer up and running really quickly. Mitre 10 is a great example. Our competitors were quoting 9 to 12 months. We got them up and running in less than 6. If you go to the next slide, it's pretty unusual for a business of our micro size to be winning against some of the world's biggest, most well-financed players, but we have been in the last 6 months alone. We've won customers up against each of these people here, and our customers have told us that these reasons around the single source of truth, the enterprise capability, the implementation speed, that we're truly a cloud-first solution with really easy data flows across the system and really good deep insights. On the next slide, a great example of that is, we're looking to create this next generation of proactive people leaders. So with a lot of the competitor products, if the CEO wants to know what's going on with attrition, the HR leader is able to tell them the attrition number because they're basically a reporting system. Our system, however, is an intelligence system. So the same customer using intelliHR can tell them the attrition number, can tell them the 4 or 5 key drivers that are creating that attrition, can show what parts of the business that attrition is likely to happen next, right down to the individual employee level of people that managers might want to reach out to and connect to ensure that attrition doesn't happen when they don't want it to. So a really deep intelligence-based, machine learning algorithm-based set of insights that our customers really love that they get to have. Next slide, please. So just to finish on where we were at the end of Q1, as I mentioned, 8.37 ARR, up over 78,000 headcount on platform. And one analyst a few weeks ago was calling us a baby Elmo because Elmo's obviously been in the news. And I think that's down to a couple of things. If you look at the average customer ARR of about 25,000, Elmo's somewhere around 27,000, so they're quite similar there. While they're 10 times our size from a revenue perspective, we do have excellent churn of less than 1%. I think their business is up over 10% in that regard. So a really interesting business, really excited to be able to share it with you today and open for questions.
Thanks, Matt. Just on Elmo, we've seen a number of Australian technology platforms kind of subject to takeover bids, which is probably quite rare. What do you think is kind of attracting the offshore player to look at technology platforms like yours, for example?
Yeah, it's a great question. I can tell you when I was sitting in headquarters at Microsoft that we were looking at Australian tech all the time. And I think that's because Australians have a really good way of identifying a real insight and need that people have, and a really good way of addressing that in a simple way from the beginning that can scale. And so I think that attracts a lot of overseas investment, and people are waiting to see when those businesses reach the right level of scale, they're looking to swoop in and find ways that they can acquire those assets. So it's not surprising to me. I know that when we were there, we looked at a number of now very well-known unicorns here in Australia, and we looked at whether we should acquire them or not. And so I think Australia is definitely a technology hidden gem, as today is called.
There you go. Thanks for the plug. So is the platform disrupting something in the market, or is it the emergence of work from home and this performance culture and the ability to measure performance? Is that where the focus really is?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think what we used to look at was with Office was the first generation of Office was digitizing human behavior, and that lasted for about 20 years. The next phase of Office was, well, once everything's digitized, what do you do with it? And I think intelliHR has looked beyond where a lot of our competitors are today, where they've been acquiring different capabilities in the area of digitizing the HR workflow. And they're based in an area of reporting numbers, which is good. And that helps HR, obviously. I think where we've gone is the next step. We're already in phase 2, which is, well, once it's digitized, what do you do with the data? And so every different app or business that we're able to integrate with feeds data into the platform and makes the platform smarter. It allows us to give the HR person deeper insights based on the range of different data inputs that we have, as well as allowing them to do the basics of HR, onboarding people, engaging people, running performance management, and so on. So those core functionalities are still covered in the product, but we have this extra layer that I think is pretty interesting to customers.
And Matt, are we talking about a SaaS sort of subscription product model here? What's kind of the average subscription? You may have touched on that, sorry. And let's go from there. And then the pathway perhaps to kind of cash flow positive. There's a question in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. I think on the first piece, we have a tiered product. It's definitely a SaaS product. We have monthly subscription or annual subscription that customers can pay. We implement the product and configure it to you. So there's the ability to both configure for a business that is trying to utilize bringing in a piece of technology to help them change their culture. We'll instead help them through design workshops understand what they want their HR and people management approach to be, and then configure the product to that. So there's that implementation piece as well, where we also earn revenue. From a pathway to operating cash flow break even, I think there's a few things. When I entered the business about 2 quarters ago, the business was driving demand through paid digital marketing. And that's a pretty time-honored tradition for small SaaS businesses to spend their way into the marketplace. What we've done since then is to open up our ability to do organic marketing. We've rebuilt our website from the ground up to be far more search engine attractive. That goes live this weekend. And then opened up a partner channel. We've started to build partner relationships at the reseller and at the consulting level, who are looking to build potential their own services around our product. And so there's a partner drive for us at the moment. And then we have a number of innovative, I guess, experiments. One of the key ones that our investors who've been with the business for a while would know is with a big payroll provider in the UK called Sintra. And we've created a product together called intelliHR, powered by intelliHR. And that's a joint payroll HR product that we're marketing in the UK market right now. And I think that's pretty exciting. That's taught us a lot about payroll. It's taught us how to sit in front of payroll. And I'm certainly talking to a number of payroll providers now to see if we can create interesting products to take to market together as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting that we've had Pay Group on in the past, who are payroll group and a platformer who got taken over. So a good way to finish the conversation. But thank you for your time. Have a nice weekend, and we'll get you back on next year.
That'd be great. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Matt.